Thank you very much for joining me today. It's lovely to be able to talk to you. We're here as part of the INWED 2021 celebrations. Perhaps we could start by you describing your area of work and your favourite part of your job.
So I work in the international politics of cybersecurity. So I don't work on a technical level. I look at how countries or governments are cooperating or competing in cyberspace and over emerging technologies, much like they have cooperated and competed over all kinds of technologies and resources in the past. So it's a really interesting area because these issues are not constrained within any country. They really are global problems and they require global solutions.
That does sound really fascinating. This year we're looking at the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. Could you tell us a bit about how that links to your area in terms of policy change?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's really interesting just this morning that we've seen this this outage of a cloud service provider, which has taken down so many websites. And I've been on the phone to the New York Times and various other outlets talking about this because, and in fact, I just Googled the Sustainable Development Goals because I couldn't remember which number is the one that I generally address, and the UN website is down. So this kind of highlights, how important these issues are, that an attack like this can take down our critical infrastructure and a lot of the sites that are so important to us. I'd say the one that is most pertinent to what I do is number 9, which is industry, innovation, and infrastructure. And in a sense, what's happened today is an example of how we're increasingly reliant on this, not just critical infrastructure in the way we would think about transport systems or utilities, but this critical information infrastructure. And again, that infrastructure really is global. And when something goes wrong, it has global implications.
Wow, yes, that's amazing to have such a recent and relevant example. Thank you. So you work closely with engineers. How do you think interdisciplinarity with the social scientists benefits the world of engineering?
So I think working closely, having social scientists working really closely with engineers is absolutely essential to solving these problems, because I think what happens when you put them together is you really take a different approach to research problems and research questions. I think what social sciences brings is really this focus on the human perspective. So we're not developing technologies or new solutions for technology's sake. We're really always doing that to improve the human condition in one way or another, or to, and through that to meet the sustainable development goals. But you need people, you need psychologists, you need, political, international politics people like me, you need economists, you need a whole suite of people who work, historians even, who really understand how these things interact and can reflect on them. And I think that type of work is the most exciting. And when we think about addressing the big problems that we face now, we really need to bring those perspectives together.
Wow, that's fascinating. Thank you. So we're here to celebrate women in engineering. What advice would you give a young woman today who wanted to study or work in a STEM-related field?
Yes, please do it, basically. Because really, it's critically important that we have diverse perspectives involved in building and implementing and critiquing emerging technologies, because there's so much inbuilt bias in the systems that we've already developed. And that's not because people who've been working in those spaces, don't care. But it's because if you have a very homogeneous group of people developing these solutions, they simply can't understand the implications for other people. So, I mean, there are tons of studies about how emerging technologies don't take into account the needs of minority groups or of women or, anyone who's, kind of falls outside that very narrow band of people who tend to populate these fields. So it's so important that we have women working in this space.
It's really encouraging. Thank you. And thank you for joining me today.
Not at all. Thank you for asking me.